A family is mourning the loss of a father, brother, and son as a man was apparently crushed to death while working on a vehicle this afternoon. Our Jared Higgs visited the scene in Grace Terrace off Burnett Road.
Shortly after noon on Wednesday, officers from the Police Traffic Division went to the scene of a fatality on Grace Terrace off Burnett Road in Fox Hill. Officer in charge of the Police Traffic Division, Superintendent Craig Stubbs, told our news team that the incident unfolded quickly.
Our initial investigation revealed that the male was under the car doing some repairs. The car was being held up by a wooden block, also with a concrete. A vehicle that was reversing accidentally would have bumped that vehicle, and the vehicle fell on the deceased. He succumbed on scene.
Sources on the scene told ZNS News the deceased man is 42-year-old Larry Brennan. The driver of the truck was visibly shaken as officers conducted their investigation. Superintendent Stubbs says he hasn't been taken into custody, but there are some details to examine.
If you look at the roadway, there were some breaches made as relates to the statute laws of the Bahamas. There were some breaches that were breached. We're going to look at it, and then we're going to address those concerns. And the investigation will then go to the coroner's office, where we will have the final say. We will make a final determination as to if charges are to be brought against the driver.
As we stated earlier, the driver of the truck was distraught as he looked on at the scene. We also spoke to the deceased man's longtime friend, who's still in shock over the loss of his pal.
He was all right, as far as, from here back then. You know what I mean? But come here to tighten up one or two screws and, tragically lose his life.
Charles Ferguson also recognized a lesson to be learned from this incident.
He's on the side of the road, and that's something I stopped practicing a long time. I fix cars. And I let him stay on the side of the road and get killed. So if you fix a car, don't fix it on the side of the road. Fix it someplace secure, man.
Jared Higgs, ZNS Network News.
One man is dead and his brother hospitalized after they were accosted by gunmen at their Yellow Elder home this morning. The unidentified victim's body was laying on a sidewalk on Tonic Williams Darling Highway, where it fell after he was shot to death after being chased through a shortcut onto the highway. Police say the latest homicide brings the murder count to 124. Officer in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Superintendent Paul Roll, says police received the call around 11:30.
This male here on the scene ran from the residence at Eaton Road towards Tonic Darling Highway, where he collapsed in the street, suffering from his injuries. The brother was also shot. His injuries are not life-threatening, we believe, and he was transported to hospital where he's now being treated.
The victim was shot multiple times about the body. An area resident said she and others are now afraid to be at home because they no longer feel safe after what occurred in the middle of the day. Superintendent Roll says police are still in the early stages of their investigation.
We do not have a motive at this stage for this homicide here this afternoon, but appeal to persons who would have any information to provide that information to us and help us to advance this investigation.